Hi everyone. Uh, I hope everyone is doing good. I read some amazing stories last week. Some of them were very interesting. Some of them started off really well, gave me a bit of suspense, and ended with a really happy ending. Some of them not so happy. Some of yours involved snow, so I'm not sure if you wrote them after it snowed, or possibly it just happened to be a coincidence that it snowed right after you wrote your story. Maybe your story caused it to snow. I don't know. Let's see. So, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be taking our story and we're going to change the way it looks. We're going to hopefully make it look nicer and a little bit more relevant around the story. Okay. But before we do that, one question I asked you guys last week was why did Bob's balloon fly away when he let go of it? Some of you guys said because he let go of it, which is correct. He let go of the balloon and it flew away. So usually, balloons would, as soon as you let go of it, fall down, fall onto the floor due to gravity. The balloon itself has some weight, and gravity causes that balloon to fall down. But this balloon, however, was filled with a gas called helium. Now, helium is actually lighter than air. So, what would happen is the moment you let it go, because the air is heavier than the helium, the air then drops down, which then pushes the helium balloon up. And that's why Bob lost his balloon. So, had it been an ordinary balloon, it would have simply fallen to the floor. However, this balloon being helium rose up and he never saw the balloon again. Or did he? So I asked you guys for some suggestions on how I can finish my story off, and some of you guys gave some really good endings. So what I will do is I'm going to take some of them, I'm going to try and combine them together and create the ending of the story. Let's go through my story again. So Bob's balloon. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Bob. Bob received a gift from his mother, a balloon. Now, notice how I've got the exclamation mark at the end. That provides some emphasis. What I'm going to do is I'm going to think of another way I can emphasize the word balloon. So I'm going to highlight that word and I'm going to use capital letters. So remember, I can use a shift, okay, which is arrow pointing upwards, which is just above the control key. And whilst I'm holding it, I'm going to write balloon, okay. Oh, the red squiggly line has appeared. Do you guys remember what that means? It's a spelling mistake. So I'm going to right click on balloon and it can say, did you mean balloon with two L's? That's what I missed out. So let's click on that and that's corrected it for me. Let's carry on. Bob loved his balloon. It was his favorite thing to play with. Now I'm going to put some emphasis on the word loved, okay? Because I'm sure loads of you guys have received loads of gifts. There's been some that you've loved, and there have been some that you have loved. Okay, so we're going to add some more emphasis on this, and I'm going to do this using the bold function. So at the top, where we were able to change, where we are able to change things to do with our font, so I can change my font style, the size. I'm going to click on the bold, and that's again made it thicker, made it more bold, and adds a bit of emphasis. Bob loved his balloon. It was his favorite thing to play with. Bob went to play with his balloon in his garden. Now I've got this box which I didn't want. I'm going to click on the edge of the box and hit delete, and let's get rid of that. Whilst having fun with his balloon, he accidentally let go of his balloon. His balloon flew away. He was really upset. Mum said, "Do not worry, Bob. Take care of your things next time." Bob was happy it did not upset his mother. He asked for another balloon to play with. So, let's go through some of the suggestions. Bob's mother jumped high and reached out and was able to grab hold of the bottom of the string attached to the balloon. Bob looked at his mother and gasped, Superman. Okay, so I've got this box in the way. Let's click on the edge of that box. Let's delete that. Let's add an exclamation mark in there. Do you remember how to add the exclamation mark? I'm going to hold Shift. So on top of the Control key, I'm going to click on the Shift key and add an exclamation mark. Bob's mother jumped high and reached out and was able to grab hold of the bottom of the string attached to the balloon. Bob looked at his mother and gasped, Superman. Okay, let's add another slide. Mum handed the balloon to Bob. Bob smiled. Okay, so most of you guys suggested that Mum got hold of another balloon and gave it to Bob. But one idea I really liked, which one person put forward, was that she was able to jump up and grab the balloon and save the balloon. I really like that idea. But most importantly, what did Bob do later on? Bob took really good care of his balloon and did not want to lose it again. The end. Okay, so we need to remember we use our full stops at the end of our sentences. And now we are going to look at how we can add some color to our presentation. So I'm going to head over to my second slide because that's where my story begins. We're going to come back to our title slide because our title slide could be a little bit more different. Let's come to slide 2. Let's think about which colors we can use for the background. Now, we ideally want to be consistent. Do you remember the word consistent? Consistent. Consistent. Ideally, we would like to be consistent, ensuring that all of our slides follow the same theme. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down my Shift key. So look, I've selected my second slide. Hold down my Shift key. I'm still holding it. You can't see it on the camera, but I'm holding it. And I'm going to come down, click on my last slide. And as you can see, they've all gone orange. So I've selected them all. And now I'm going to head over to background. And I'm going to change the color of my presentation. So let's head over to color and let's find a nice color to use. I mean, this story seems like it was on a nice sunny day. So I'm going to use a nice skyish bluish color. There we go. Okay, a very light color. I can still read my font, which is very important. So if you guys want to head over and change the color of your presentation, change the color of your slides, remember to use the Shift key. So I'm going to click on my second slide. I'm going to hold down Shift and I'm going to drag this little bar down towards the end. And I'm going to click on my last slide, and that way I've selected them all. I'll click on background and choose a color. Once I click on done, I can see my presentation has a new color. Go ahead and give that a go, please. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at changing the font. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this box, and remember, if I want to change everything in that box, I will click on the edge of that box. And right now I'm going to change the font. We need to think about which font would be good to use. Now I have loads of font that I can use here because I clicked away from that list. Which font would be a good one to use? Okay, so we want to use one which is sensible, which is easy to read. So some of these fonts give some sort of impression. So Impact, for example, gives it a nice, thick, strong impression. This one here, let's see, Bangers. It does look a little bit fun. If we look at Boogaloo, again, nice and soft. Okay, I like this Boogaloo one. Okay, we can look at something like Laura. Very formal, but it's a very nice one. I like this one. I'm going to use Laura. Once you've decided on which font you'd like to use, go ahead and you can change it on every single slide. So you're going to come onto the slide, click on the edge of that box, and then go ahead and select the slide you want to use. Now, at the top, we do have the most recent ones that we've used. So you should have whichever one you've chosen to pop up at the top. Okay, so go ahead and do that with all of your slides. Now, what we can also do is we can also change the color of the font as well. So blue is a nice color for my background, and I've got black for my text. Let's think about which other color I can use for my font. Now, if I was to use, okay, now what I would like to do is come onto this top ribbon here, and I've got this A with this small colored box underneath it. I'm going to click on that and select a new color. Shall I try dark blue? Oh, that's not very easy to read, is it? We need a color which is very different to blue so that we can make it easy to read. Usually, black is a good color to use and white because they're very different to most colors. They're on opposite ends of the color scale. So we can try white. Oh, that does look good and it's still nice and easy to read. Oh, should we try orange? Oh, now that is clashing. Easy to read, but it's clashing. It's hurting my eyes. So let's not use orange. Should we try red? Oh, that's hurting my eyes loads. Let's try green. Oh, that does seem good, but again, not the easiest to read. My favorite color so far was the white, so I'm going to stick to the white. And again, I will come back and change all of my text boxes to white and to the Laura font. Okay, so please go ahead and do the same. Once you're done, feel free to hand that in. We can check that. Remember to proofread your work. You're going to read through it. You may have made mistakes. Some people mentioned themselves in their story. So they started off talking about Bob, and Bob received a present on my birthday, which seems a little bit odd. I should be getting a present on my birthday, not Bob. So let's read through it, check if there's any spelling mistakes, check if there's any grammar mistakes, make sure we have full stops in the right places. If we want to add any extra emphasis, we can do. Once you're done, boys, if you'd like to hand that in for me, and next week we will be making that look even more interesting. Take care, boys, and I will see you next week.